All right, we're back. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to today's live ear training session. We're gonna dig into something I think that's cool today. That's gonna really work on helping you to open up your playing. I know some players sometimes struggle with trying to open up their playing and get out of the same rut that they've been stuck in. I'm gonna use a track today that's from my bass jam pack. This track is actually not available on YouTube for free, but it is available for purchase on my bass jam pack. It's going to be a pretty, I'm not going to say super simple, but it's going to feel more like Sunday morning in terms of things that you would play for a choir. This is from the Straight Gospel, again, bass jam pack, Straight Gospel Volume 2 to be exact. The name of this track is Bread of Life. If you have the Straight Gospel Volume 2 bass jam pack, you've probably already played to this particular song. Some people kind of shy away from these types of songs because they have a little bit more movement to them. And I will say this, and let me give this disclaimer before I get too far into this video. I do offer this where I teach an instructional video where I teach this track. And let me just play it so you guys can hear it in context. This is what we're going to be playing. If you don't have your bass already, go ahead and get your bass. This is an interactive session, so I want you guys to already have your bass. So here we go. This is the part B of this song. Whole thing. So again, if you're just joining me, this track is not available on YouTube. It is available for purchase along with 5 other tracks that come with this. That's not the same tracks, but go along with this choir. And these tracks I created, these are to stretch you. It's up tempo. This is something that's going to feel more like something you're going to be playing on Sunday morning. It's not just a loop of one section. It's a loop of an A and a B section with a couple of lines and stuff in there. So what we're going to do, I'm not going to necessarily teach you how to play the track. I do that in my instructional video, but I want to show you how to break out of that wall of being stuck. But I will give you the progression really quick for those who are listening. Remember, this is the ear training, so I'm not going to be breaking down every single detail of this particular thing. So we're in the key of C major. All right, so it's 1, 2, 5, 5, 1, 4, 2, 5, 4, 3, 2, 5, 5, 1, 3. I know that's quick, but you got to go back and rewind this if you're watching in the replay to get this. All right. So, and then the second section of the song goes 6, 2, 5, 6, 2, 5, 5, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, 5, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5. And then it comes out with a line. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Back to 3, 4, 5. Right, and then we go back into the groove. That's the whole thing. All right, so you're just gonna have to pick it up as we go. We'll stop in here because there's some little things I'm gonna be doing to just show you guys kind of how to get to the point where you have that dexterity and you can kind of open up and play other things. The point of this video today, of course, is listening and playing along with it, but being able to implement some of the things you've been working on, like some maybe a ribs or a little turnarounds, and trying to figure out how do I get that and incorporate it. That's the point of today's hearing. What were we talking about? I'm trying to think of what we call this session. I went blank that quick, but that's the point of today's ear training. There we go, ear training session. So here we go in context. Next section. So as you can hear, it keeps repeating. And so the trade-off with this one might not be as easy as the other ones that we've been doing. But I challenge you, if you have your bass, here's the good thing. You don't have a camera pointed at you. So do attempt to try the stuff that we're doing today. I told you we're going to do a variation of tunes and backing tracks and that kind of thing. Again, if you're just joining us and this is too much for you, I do have breakdowns for this in my Straight Gospel volume 2, the instructional, where I break down and show you guys how to do this. All right, so here we go. Let's jump back into it. And I'm just right now getting fluid with, I'm playing with the finger tone style, the finger style rather, in terms of getting comfortable with moving around. I'm listening for certain things while I'm playing. I'm trying to work on being a lot more clean each time I go around. Being able to keep up. That's the biggest thing. Being able to keep up with a song that moves like this. Oftentimes when we're moving in songs like this, you're so busy trying to keep up, depending on the level you are as a player, that you don't have time to think of what else can I do to add into this. And sometimes it don't take anything, but in your practice time, you want to work to be able to incorporate things. So if you do want to pull something out live, you're not struggling to do it. There's something that I did that I incorporated, I want to say the Phrygian, over that, when we go to that B section where we're going to that E, like that E dominant. So getting ready to go, and that's like a common turnaround. Getting ready to go to a 6, you use the 3 to get to a 6. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that, like that E Phrygian. I'm going to use that E Phrygian to get me to the 6. So that's a place where you can use the, the Phrygian, but I'm going to do it quick. So I'm going to try it in real time. And this is part of my practice. What I want to do is like just take the deepness, because I know sometimes we get to talking about the modes and we make it so deep, but we never implement the modes into what we're actually playing. So here it is, right here. Coming up right here. So so it's quick. And so that's a good way to work it out. So we slow it down. The way I would work it in, I would be 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And so I would just keep working it up to speed. Right? And so I would work it into the song, and I'll keep doing this whole little process while I'll slow it down, see if I can work it in. That don't mean I'm going to pull it out on a Sunday, but I want to have it up under my hand. So if I want to pull it out, I could do it. So let me try it again in context. I miss it. Coming up. That's it. Again. It went clean. So I'm getting it in there, but it's not as clean as I would like it, but I am landing the lick. So I did it 3 times in a row. That's not too bad because it is a fast lick. But again, I want to be able to, if that's something I want to pull out, be able to pull it out confident. And that's implementing, that's the Phrygian mode for you guys who are wondering about it. So so somebody said loose fingers. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about, getting that dexterity where you want it. So one of the things that I've been doing all week that normally I'm so busy, I haven't had much time lately to do it, but I'm sneaking in little 15-minute increments, if you will, of just being able to work through practicing. And that's doing things to get my hands moving. And that's whether I'm doing like anything with the modes, just taking anything and making a exercise out of it. So you can use, like, technically, if we were playing an A minor, right? And so we want to go to that the 5. If we want to go to the 5 of A minor, that dominant, well, I can run that Phrygian, that E Phrygian. I can run it over that 5. If I made a groove out of that, just for exercise. So that gives me something to run over that while I'm like practicing just a groove. So the biggest thing I'm talking here is implementation. It's not enough. I was talking this morning for you all who missed the pop-up masterclass, you missed it. But it's all good. It'll happen again, and I'll try to give you guys a better heads up on when that's going down. But one of the things I was talking about this morning is implementation. Oftentimes, I think we get so over the top on trying to learn theory that we forget the implementation part. One of my biggest things is like, let's make sure we learn how to implement this stuff. And Phrygian is one of those modes that a lot of people don't really deal with, but I think we can figure out ways to use it, and it's not just for a solo player. And you don't have to use the whole thing. I'm using it for the sake of this groove. And it's a good way to exercise. So you want to build fluidity in your hands and just get everything really, really loose. Y'all noticed the last time I was here, I was like, man, I had that spaghetti fingers and I couldn't like really flow like I really wanted to. So taking time out, basically taking my bass with me and finding little 15-minute windows and increments that I could do that. And I wasn't even working on like the Phrygian. It was just taking other things that I, do. Like taking little things that I would normally play, moving them around, and then implementing some other things that maybe I've been working through and getting comfortable with learning, like that's that Dorian shape that we could do, or if we came down here, in C. Like different things that we could take. So it didn't have to be super deep, doesn't have to be super complicated. The biggest thing is you want to take time out, get your fingers moving, warm your hands up on all these things, and you want to be working through the fluidity of it all. All right, so it's like I'm playing like a minor pentatonic, and I can mix and match that minor pentatonic with a Dorian. And so you could take something that simple and make patterns to practice with, like again. And I'll just keep mixing and matching stuff. Oftentimes when I'm doing these things, I'm not sitting there trying to be like, okay, this is the Dorian and I can only nah, I take down the walls when I play. You know what I'm saying? I take down the walls. I'm experimenting. I'm stepping outside of the box. That's how I came up with like, okay, what if I did, the over the track? Trying to look for a way that I can get from that 3 to that 6. Because nobody's expecting me to do that. And that's a good one. So if we're going in the key of C. So how did we get that? Right here. That's all we're doing, and it's a hole. So that little hole, I can put something there. Not every time, but I have the option to put something there. And if I put something there, what could I put? Right. So that gives me something to put there. And another thing that I could have did was slid up to, over that 3, slid into it. So I'll do that in context. That way you guys can hear what I'm saying in context. So let's do that again. Slide. Right there. So I can put it there. So if I wanted to, I just got to remember to get there earlier. And so all of that in my practice time, I'm working out, okay, what's the best time to start my slide in order to get into that. And remember, this whole track is moving fast, so it's going to make you think faster. All right, so let me do it again. Had to get out of it. So I went into that run late, so I had to get out of it and try to get back to my 6. And those are the things we are working through with implementation. But the biggest thing is getting that fluidity up under your hands so that you're able to do that really, really quickly and get back to the next thing. So I'm trying to remember the timing of it. I got to figure out the timing of how I did it the first time. But that's what we do. We work that out. So let's do it again. That ain't it. Let's go back. I kind of made that work. I kind of made it work by adding an extra note. But that's the thing you want to do. What you see me doing real time right now, this is why I love these particular sessions, because you get to see real time, okay, how do we figure out how to make stuff work? Because, okay, it's not landing right. So you don't like, okay, that didn't work. No, you figure out through trial and error how to make it work by keep going back and forth and listening to it and seeing, okay, do I need to take a note out? Do I need to add a note? So I would encourage you, if you're going to try something like this, to have multiple variations of how you can get to it, because you're not going to remember everything right there in the heat of the moment, but you want to have it enough under your hands, enough different ways that if I got to add another note to it, I can make it work. Like right now, I have no idea where I was starting at when I first played it like 3 times and it was on. I had no idea what I did. So now if I'm going to incorporate it, I got to figure out how to land it in the groove and keep going on. So that's my challenge that I'm going to do right now. I'm going to make myself land it and keep moving through the song this Sunday morning. All right, here we go. That was on. Next one. We're gonna try it. And so there, I'm playing around with the groove on the B section because the idea of it is I want to have more than one thing that I can do. So I'm playing around with everything in the song. And you want to get yourself, when there's up-tempo songs, get yourself out of this rush panic mode, because you can't think when you're in rush panic mode. But if you treat it like, okay, let me see what all I can do over this, you're thinking ahead. When I was trying to pull off that, when I was trying to do that, I was thinking ahead. Even though I was still playing, I'm thinking ahead to what's coming up next, because a good or great bass player, especially in gospel, is always thinking of what's coming up next so they can set that up. You want to be able to set it up. One of the players, when I was, coming up, listening amongst a lot of players I listened to, one of the most, and this is my guy, Daryl Freeman. When I was listening to Daryl, trying to learn his approach and how he approached gospel music, one of the things I noticed with Daryl had some of the most dope setups for the next thing. And it really stood out to me when I was learning, okay, what separates Daryl from, because at that time, this is the early 2000s, people calling Daryl for everything. They still call him a lot, but back in that time, as far as gospel music was concerned, you seen Daryl Freeman on every single record. And one of the things I noticed about his playing was his setups going to the next thing. He would always lead you into the next chord. So that don't necessarily mean it got to be a riff or a run and that type of thing, but being able to know what's coming up next and you being able to indicate that with what you're playing on the bass. Let me see if I can try to attempt it. Maybe I've been doing it already. I just don't think about it, but I want to make sure that I'm letting the band know what's coming up next with my lead in. So let's try. This will be my last pass through this. Okay, I'll do one without lead ins so you can distinguish between the two. I'll do one where I'm just playing it straight bass line, and then I'll do another one where I'm suggesting what's coming up next so you have an idea of what I'm saying. Straight. Do it again. Straight. All right, this time. So you can hear the difference between the two of what I'm doing. One of them definitely comes across more aggressive, where I'm carrying the bass line all the way through. Neither one of them are wrong, but it's one of those things that you get in the habit of practicing. And I think being able to toggle between the two of them, like confidently, where you know, okay, I can be a little bit more aggressive, or I can go in and out, where I can just simplify it and just give you the meat and potatoes, or I have one where I'm like really carrying, but not getting in the way. It's going to really add a lot to your playing, open up a lot for you in terms of your options of what you can play, and give you a whole lot to choose from. So you're not overplaying, but you are being more aggressive, because I think where we are in gospel music, and that's more choir, feels like more choir, kind of 2000s ish type, 2000s, late 2000s, as far as choir music is concerned. That's kind of the type of stuff that you will hear. And I wanted to be able to kind of demonstrate some of that stuff to give you a better context of what you can do, what's possible. But the biggest thing is being able to go in between. Some of you guys are probably already doing that, but for the ones of you who are not doing it, I want to be able to demonstrate, to open up more to what what's possible. So again, if you want to get that jam pack by itself to play to that track, I think I've already linked it in the let me see. I think I've already linked it in the description of this video, but I'll go ahead and drop it in the live chat in the comments. And I'm gonna speak to a few of you guys before I jump off of here, because I'm over. But if you want the instructional of this, where I literally break down that track that I'm playing note by note, so you can play along with me, I'm gonna drop that in the chat as well. Maybe I'll come back and drop that in the description of this video for anybody who wants to get that. So I'll drop that right now in the chat. So I break down this particular song and 5 other songs that are a little bit more involved if you're a more intermediate or beginner player, and it's like, bro, I can't keep up with all that. I can break it down for you in this particular instructional that I've already done. All right, so let's see who chimed in on this one this morning. Beatrice, what's going on? If you're still here, John, I see you. Anthony, good morning to you, sir. MJ Yari, if I'm saying that correctly. All right, so Yari said that makes sense. I've been learning theory and it makes sense in my head, but have to learn to apply. Yeah, because it's like I told a guy this morning when we were doing the master class. It's like, what good is knowing all this theory and having all these answers? It's almost, I apply it, well, I look at it as like having this big cool tool set. And I ain't scared to turn wrenches, but what good is it for me to have a big old tool set with every tool known to man, but I can't fix nothing in my yard? I always have to call somebody else when something breaks down. I don't know how to use any of my tools. The biggest thing is, okay, if you have a little adjustable wrench, learn how to use that wrench. I mean, for multiple things. If you have a screwdriver, learn how to use that screwdriver. Like, master using that screwdriver. If you have a set of pliers, learn how to use those pliers without stripping your bolts out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Master how to use the tools that you have before you just jump and buy more and more and more tools. And as that relates to theory, before you just keep piling more and more theory on, application. You see where I use this little Phrygian thing. So some people have not even considered, okay, to use that Phrygian over the 5. I wouldn't have thought about that. That's the point. You know what I'm saying? So like, or over the 3, if you're thinking of it in the key of C. And that, right? So things that we don't necessarily think about using because we have to explore it. And I know you have to hear it, but you have to try these things in multiple contexts, and it'll come to you. Over time, it will come to you. So hopefully this was helpful. If you didn't think to do that before, now you have. So, all right. So, yeah, and getting those loose fingers, try 15 minutes a day. If you can't put in the recommended 10 hours per week, at least try to do 15 minutes a day. I know everybody's busy, but you can't cheat the process with this instrument. If you want to have that dexterity, if you want to be able to do it, you can't cheat the process. At the very least, pick it up, do something, and get in a habit of doing something all the time. Even if you're a vet, you've been doing this for years. I've been doing it for years, and it don't take nothing for me to fall off. So I have to make sure that I'm keeping my hands fresh. So I encourage you all to do the same thing. And yeah, put some new strings on your bass. If you ain't got no new strings, grab you some. These are not the ones that I'm currently using on here, but these are some SIT strings are what I use, just in case anybody's interested. Normally I use the power wound. I just got some power steel stainless, and I got another set of the power wounds, but these are the Rock Brights. I don't have these currently on my bass, but I encourage you guys, put some strings on your bass, because that normally motivates you. Your bass sound good, you want to play it, you want to practice, right? And grab that jam pack if you like what you heard today. Unfortunately, like I said, it's not on YouTube, but you can get it there and jam out to it. So anyway, thank y'all. Appreciate you hanging out with me today. Oh yeah, and be on the lookout. The next master class, I'm going to try to keep these going. I know it's going to be really helpful what we'll do in these master classes. And y'all let me know if I need to do an advanced one by commenting, not necessarily in the chat, but in the actual comment for the people who are watching in the live replay and you made it this far in the video. Let me know if you want to see that master class happen. What it is, 1 hour where we just dig into, with the beginner bass players, we're going to dig into the foundational fundamental stuff, and we'll spend like an hour doing that. And then my intermediate players will deal more with just some like about 4 different topics. I can't remember all the topics that we'll deal with gospel. And then you have some time for some Q&A that we'll do for about an hour, where we just power pack for 1 hour. And I just kind of go through and teach you some really fundamental things like today that you can do in gospel to open up your playing, but we just go a little bit deeper, and you have the opportunity there to ask a question, a short question where I can answer it and keep it moving for that hour, but you can get the help you need right there. So be sure to watch out for those, because you never know when those are going to pop up. I'm going to try to start doing those more often. More than likely, they will happen on Saturdays. It's not going to be, it'll probably be once a month. I'll let you guys know way in advance. This one was just a pop-up. I'll let you guys know, like, it wasn't even 24 hours, but I'll at least give a 24-hour notice. But you got to stay connected to know when I'm going to do it. Andre, what's up, man? Anthony said, it took me a minute. Moving them fingers are key. Absolutely. Yes, sir. All right. And so what's going on, Mo? Yeah, so that's it, y'all. I just wanted to speak to a few of you all, and I thank y'all for joining me live. If you found this video helpful, share this with somebody. Let people know what we're doing in these ear training sessions. I think we're getting better and better every week with them as we redefine what this looks like and just what your playing looks like and what's possible. So I'll catch y'all on the next one when I go live again, but y'all have a great Mother's Day weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that are watching this weekend. If my mom is looking, happy Mother's Day to your mom. And so happy Mother's Day to the mothers that are watching. Dudes, I ain't talking to y'all. Y'all got to wait next month. So, all right, y'all have a wonderful weekend. I'll see y'all. Peace.